So our next speaker is Neil Ordish, and he's here to talk about fake it till you make it. Yeah. So Neil is an innovative speaker, coach and training specialising in helping those experiencing mental health challenges. He's passionate about what he does and always gives 100%. He's helped hundreds of people to turn their lives around and live fulfilled and happy lives. This is an insight into individual personal development through real life experience, an honest and insightful journey that will inspire and give hope to you all. Please give Neil a big warm welcome.
Sorry. I'm sorry. You see, I'm what you call an introvert, and I might be feeling just a little bit anxious. I don't know if you know what that feels like. You know, the moment when you're at school and the teacher walks around the class and he goes, "You boy, stand up in front of the class," and he expects you to explain something complex like the 1 times table, or you're doing a course and the instructor decides that we're all going to introduce ourselves to each other. You might have come across this recently. And they say, "Can you stand up and talk about yourselves? Introduce yourself to the group." And all the time, your heart's pounding and it's going round the group and it gets closer and closer to you. And the closer it gets, the less you're listening to what they're saying. The more you're thinking, "Oh shit, it's getting closer to me, what am I going to say?" You know what I mean then? You can't even remember their bloody names, can you? So, 1975. The sun shone every day and the summers went on forever in the 70s. We had skateboards and space operas and Noel Edmonds on the TV. And we felt safe. We felt safe. We used to leave our doors open. People would come and go as they pleased. The people in my road, I used to call them all aunt and uncle. But they were my neighbours. They lived across the road, next door. The people who ran the shop were my aunt and uncle. The bloody milkman, Uncle Roy. But we felt safe. And the banter wasn't PC. So the banter in the playground then, Mongol, spastic, freak, bender, queer, all the time. Commonplace. So one day, we sat at the breakfast table. I'm 9 years old, my sister's 7, and there's my mum and dad. And my mum says, "We've got something to tell you." And we sat in our 70s style dining room with the yellow and blue wallpaper and Terry Wogan's playing on the radio. And she says, "I'm going to have a baby." And "You're too old." And she just laughed and said, "You better bloody get used to it because I'm having it." And so I did, got used to it. And she had the usual symptoms, you know, getting bigger. And one night, I'm asleep in my bed, and I hear a noise, and it's the sound of crying. And I look up, and my dad is in tears, and he's sat next to me on the bed. And I'd never seen my dad cry. It really hurt. And he said, your mum's had the baby, but there's something wrong. We don't know if she's going to survive. She was born blue. And the next couple of days, there's people to-ing and fro-ing from the house. There's lots of adult conversations about consultants and specialists and doctors. And then, after a couple of days, my mum comes out of hospital and tells us that my sister has Down syndrome. Oh my God, what am I going to do? I can't let everyone know that my sister's got Down syndrome. So I decide there and then to keep it a secret. And that's what I do. I go to school and I avoid the banter, or I change the subject. I don't invite people to my house because I'm embarrassed. And I get to go to high school. Now, high school is a different ball game. You're so self-aware. You've got to wear the right clothes. You've got to have the right haircut. You've got to walk in a certain way. You've got to talk a certain way. I wanted a day off if I had a zit on my face. So I definitely couldn't let anyone know at high school. So I kept my secret. And in doing so, I became just a little bit more introvert and a little bit more anxious and quiet. The special needs bus used to come round the corner from my house and I'd hide. They were coming to pick my sister up and I didn't want anyone to see me because it wasn't cool. At last, I get to leave school and I think, great, I don't have to keep this secret anymore. I'm going to be in the grown-up world. But I start a thing called a YTS scheme. There's only some people in the audience who are going to remember those. Maggie Thatcher's initiative. Basically, you worked and you got paid 25 quid a week. And it brought the unemployment figures down. And I thought, oh, I'll be safe. But my supervisor, an adult, he liked to use the term Mongol and spastic. And so I had to continue to keep that secret. And in doing so, I became a little bit more introvert and a little bit more quiet. Now, thankfully, I left that job. And since then, I've done many things. I worked with people who have learning disabilities for a long time. And I now work as a mental health coach, helping people experiencing anxiety, depression, stress, and worse things. And I know that my lived experience is what helps me to understand what it feels like, to understand and to be able to help those people. I am proud of my family. I'm proud of how I was brought up and what happened. I'm grateful. I'm very, very proud of my sister, Faith, who's lived independently now for a number of years. Without that, I wouldn't be able to do what I do now. It's what has made me. So there's a lot of people in personal development, in my arena, that like to say, fake it till you make it. I don't believe that. I believe that you should accept who you are, and you should be the best you that you can be. My name's Neil, If you want to speak to me afterwards about training courses or one-to-one support, if you know somebody who might need some help, please come and talk to me afterwards. I am a happy introvert. Thank you. Goodbye.